If you want to stay up to date with all current hip hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to become part of this community. Alright, so let's talk about this new Pop Smoke album that we just got, Faith, that dropped last Friday on July 16th. This is his second posthumous album, probably his last one. So this is my review, my honest thoughts, the things I liked, the things I disliked, and what I think about it. This thing was supported by no singles. We only had a couple of rumors like that, Dua Lipa song on there, but there was not like a whole lot of stuff supporting this. So when we got this, it was like, just a whole new world for us to dive into. This is 20 tracks in length with about an hour of runtime, so quite a long project considering that there's only so much limited material left for, in this case, Victor Victor to compose this new record off. And that is also, one of the main things that I want to point out about the record. Before getting into the track list itself and talking about the songs, I want to mention one reoccurring theme that spans all throughout this whole album. There's only a couple of songs on here that are actually only Pop Smoke without any features. That was to be expected since he didn't finish most of the songs on here and they have to be filled in by features, but the songs that's only him on here are 2 minutes or less, which I really don't like. That's like one of the main things you can see, that the features really filled this thing up, and you can feel that in the track list too. They all still really feel like Pop Smoke songs, don't get me wrong. The instrumentals are very drill. They're all very dark Pop Smoke vibes, with some exceptions, of course. So it still feels like a Pop Smoke album, but you can tell that this was a posthumous release. Now getting into the track list, we have an intro with Good News. More Time is just some bars from Pop Smoke to get us started. On here is another reoccurring theme that I want to point out, which is that there's a lot of lyrics on here that have been reused from other stuff that's already released from him. So on some certain occasions you will recognize some verses that he's already dropped in the past, which is, I don't know if I like that too much. It just means that they recycle a lot of stuff, but at least we got some brand new verses, which I really like. Tell the Vision with Kanye West and Pusha T was actually one of the highlights. Now, don't get excited, Kanye doesn't really have a part on here, it's just more of an intro, but then Pusha T comes through with a pretty good verse, which has to have been recorded within the very recent past, because he mentions Tyler, the Creator, having the album of the year so far, and Tyler's album only dropped like 3 weeks ago, but now they're coming for it, and he also announced that he has an album coming this year still, which was actually pretty big, and I thought it was kind of weird, but also like a gangsta move to announce that on a Pop Smoke album. Then we have Manslaughter featuring Rick Ross and The Dream. Nothing too special, just what you would kind of expect. A very basic but still amazing Rick Ross verse. Pop fits on there perfectly as well. About a Million is doing pretty well so far. It's 42 Dugg and 21 Savage on here. I gotta say, 42 Dugg. This man has been going crazy with the features, or at least that Tyler feature that he did on Lemonhead. That was amazing. I was really blown away by that. This is also top notch, so shout out to Dugg for just being consistent in the recent past. Brushin' with Ross Swish was also a very, very Pop Smoky song that you can just, listen to while working out. Then we have Top Shotta, which had kind of that, reggae African tone to it. I thought Pusha did pretty well on here, even though his voice was kind of thin, but it was nice to see Pop on some other instrumentals. Then are some songs that just kind of got lost in the whole, variety of the 20 songs that are on here. For example, 30 with Busy Bangs was still a banger, but nothing that I would go back to that much. Beat the Speaker was not really a highlight for me. Same for Coop, that's not really my cup of tea either. Then What's Crackin' with Takeoff featured a pretty good Takeoff verse. Genius with Lil TJ and Sway Lee is actually a pretty good song. I like this one quite a lot, actually. Even though I don't like Sway Lee's part as much, I thought both Pop and TJ did their thing on here. Then we have that Mr. Jones joint with Future that a lot of you guys were already excited about, that kind of leaked a couple of days and weeks ago, which this is, that's kind of a classic already, or like, something that we knew was going to be dope going into this. Then we have that song with Chris Brown, Woo Baby, which I love Pop's part on here, but not really Chris Brown's. As I said in my videos leading up to this release, Chris Brown is not really a feature that anybody is really excited for anymore in 2021, so I'm not sure about that. Then Demeanor with Dua Lipa, which we knew was gonna come, but a lot of people still had their doubts about this. I thought she actually did pretty well on here. When the song starts off, you really have to get used to the fact that Pop is doing this type of style now. It's really poppy song, so no pun intended in that one. So, but I think he pulls it off really well. Spoiled with Pharrell is another very short song, but Pop is singing on here, which doesn't sound too bad. It actually sounds pretty good. 8 Ball with Kid Cudi must be one of my favorites. A really Kid Cudi vibe. I love Cudio's part on here, and Pop Smoke also kills it on the hook. Like, this is not like a drill song, like going hard, but rather somewhat of a, more diverse style sound. Then Backdoor with Quavo and Kodak Black is also a pretty great outro to this, even though we still have the last song Merci Beaucoup, which also serves as a pretty good outro to this, with him at the end giving some words from, it must have been like an unreleased interview or something that they cut this from, or if any of you know where this is from, then please let me know. So all in all, this album was what I expected from it. It's not really, I don't think there was anything that his estate or, Victor in their management could have done to make this better than it was or make it worse than it was. It just is what it is. I think there are some Pop verses on here that I will go back to and re-listen, and there are some songs that I'm going to have on repeat, but it's nothing that is really, revolutionary that we didn't hear before. Of course, Pop also only had a limited time on this earth. Rest in peace. So he couldn't really, develop his full potential as an artist. But what I really get from this is that Pop Smoke shouldn't be just brushed away as this drill artist that can only do one specific type of sound, like many people think of Fabio Foreign as that. But on some of these, especially that Manslaughter track as well with Rick Ross, for example, I think we can see that in a lot of ways he could have fit on a lot of other people's stuff as well, and added some extra quality to that. So rest in peace to Pop Smoke. I think this is actually not a bad way. It's a pretty good way to end his career, to leave a legacy, and yeah, I think this will be his last album. That's what I think about this. Now I want to know what you think about this. Did you like this new album, Faith? What are your favorite tracks? What are your least favorite tracks? Do you think this thing was just filled with features to fill in the gaps? Or do you actually think that Pop intended these features, or at least some of them, to be on the tracks that they were on? Let me know in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media and blog down in the description. It really helps me out. Until the next one, y'all have an incredible day, and y'all take care.